The United States Senate has been thrown into unprecedented chaos. Early today, 18 Republican senators joined all 51 Democrats to advance articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, marking a moment unlike anything seen before in American politics. Never before have members of a sitting president's own party actively pushed impeachment while he remains in office. This is not a symbolic gesture or routine partisan conflict. A genuine bipartisan coalition is forming around allegations so serious that senators who once built their political identities defending Trump are now publicly supporting his removal. The shift reportedly followed a classified intelligence briefing that even Trump's closest allies are privately describing as devastating. When the Senate majority whip crosses party lines and co-sponsors impeachment articles with the opposition, it sends a clear signal that the foundation beneath this presidency has fractured. Stay subscribed so you don't miss the next developments. So what caused this historic Republican rupture? According to multiple senators present at a classified briefing held on January 20th, intelligence officials presented evidence suggesting that Trump personally authorized the sharing of highly classified signals intelligence with a foreign adversary in exchange for personal business advantages. Senators from both parties reportedly described the conduct as a direct betrayal of his oath of office and the nation itself. Sources familiar with the briefing say the evidence includes intercepted communications, financial records, and testimony from national security officials who witnessed the alleged actions. This is not an impeachment rooted in policy disputes or partisan disagreements. Constitutional scholars are calling it the gravest threat to a sitting president since Watergate. And when Republicans who previously voted to acquit Trump in 2 earlier impeachments are now helping lead efforts to remove him, it signals a fundamental rupture within the party. Here's how events unfolded. Pressure had been mounting since early January, when the Senate Intelligence Committee, led by Chair Mark Warner and Vice Chair Marco Rubio, began investigating unauthorized disclosures of classified information. The situation escalated dramatically on January 20th, when the full Senate received a mandatory classified briefing outlining what intelligence officials described as severe and immediate national security threats linked to executive branch actions. The briefing took place in the Senate's secure facility and was delivered by Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines and NSA Director Timothy Haw. It reportedly lasted 4 hours and left lawmakers from both parties visibly shaken. Senators speaking afterward said the presentation detailed a 6-month pattern in which Trump allegedly shared classified signals intelligence regarding U.S. capabilities in the South China Sea with representatives of a foreign government, purportedly in exchange for approvals tied to Trump Organization development projects valued at approximately $2 billion. The materials reportedly included decrypted communications between Trump and foreign officials, financial transfers traced by Treasury investigators, and sworn testimony from 4 national security officials who reported the conduct through protected whistleblower channels. The allegations are especially explosive because of the nature of the intelligence involved. Senator Angus King, chair of the Intelligence Committee's Cybersecurity Subcommittee, warned that the information allegedly disclosed could compromise active military operations, reveal intelligence collection methods developed over decades, and endanger human sources whose lives may now be at risk. This was not a disagreement over foreign policy judgment or partisan interpretation. The core allegation is that the President of the United States traded national security secrets for personal financial benefit. If you're following so far, here's where it becomes even more serious. Within 2 hours of the briefing's conclusion, Republican Senator Mitt Romney reportedly convened an emergency meeting of what he called concerned Republicans in a secure conference room. According to staffers, 17 Republican senators attended, including Senate Majority Whip John Thune, Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, and Todd Young. The meeting lasted roughly 90 minutes and has been described by multiple senators, speaking anonymously, as one of the most emotional and consequential gatherings in modern Republican history. Romney reportedly opened bluntly, stating that the evidence showed a president betraying his oath for personal profit and warning that failure to act would make them complicit. The room reportedly fell silent, According to accounts from those familiar with the meeting, Lindsey Graham, long one of Trump's staunchest defenders, then stood and acknowledged that the evidence changed everything. He reportedly said he had defended Trump through numerous controversies, believing his actions were driven by policy goals. But what was presented in the briefing went beyond politics and amounted to betrayal of the country. Those present said Graham's remarks instantly shifted the mood. Rubio reportedly followed, emphasizing that the intelligence included intercepts, financial records, and witnesses willing to testify, warning that refusing to impeach would effectively declare there are no limits on presidential conduct. By early evening, the Republican group had drafted articles of impeachment. This move was extraordinary, as impeachment typically originates in the House of Representatives. Romney later argued publicly that the House, controlled by Republicans, had demonstrated an unwillingness to hold the president accountable. He stated that the Senate has a constitutional obligation to act when it possesses direct knowledge of high crimes and misdemeanors. The impeachment articles released just after midnight on January 21st include 2 counts. The first alleges betrayal of national security for personal gain, accusing Trump of knowingly and willfully disclosing classified intelligence about U.S. military capabilities to a foreign power in exchange for business benefits tied to Trump Organization entities. The second alleges obstruction of congressional oversight, charging that Trump directed executive officials to withhold information and instructed witnesses to defy congressional subpoenas. The most damaging aspect lies in the supporting documentation, which references a classified annex, accessible only to senators with proper clearance. Public sections of the articles quote heavily from declassified intelligence excerpts. One passage states that on August 12, 2024, during a meeting at the president's private club, intercepted communications indicated Trump disclosed precise capabilities and locations of intelligence collection systems, classified at the top-secret/SCI level, to a foreign official in exchange for approval of a Trump Organization development project. Another passage details financial activity. On August 15, 2024, wire transfers totaling $847 million were initiated from foreign government-controlled entities to accounts linked to Trump Organization projects. Transfers Treasury investigators reportedly concluded were quid pro quo payments. These revelations sent shockwaves through Washington and the country. When Republican senators draft impeachment articles against a Republican president using classified intelligence and include specific dates, dollar amounts, and descriptions of sensitive material, the political calculus changes entirely. Trump has faced impeachment before, but the circumstances are fundamentally different this time. His first impeachment related to Ukraine. House Democrats drove the process, and Senate Republicans dismissed it as partisan, with only Romney voting to convict. The second impeachment followed January 6th, when 7 Republicans voted to convict, still well short of the required 2/3. Many argued the conduct did not meet the constitutional threshold. This time, Republican senators themselves are leading the charge. The allegations are supported by concrete intelligence evidence rather than contested testimony. 18 Republicans have already indicated they would vote to convict, with several more reportedly considering it. According to senators and intelligence officials, 3 categories of evidence proved decisive: intercepted communications, financial records demonstrating quid pro quo payments, and testimony from national security officials who reported the conduct through whistleblower channels. NSA intercepts reportedly include conversations in which Trump acknowledged the classified nature of the information and directly linked disclosure to business approvals. Treasury investigators allegedly traced more than $2 billion in transfers following disclosures. For whistleblowers, including military officers, an NSA analyst, and a White House national security staffer, submitted disclosures describing incidents tied to business interests. The implications extend far beyond Trump himself. If a president can exchange classified intelligence for personal profit without consequence, constitutional checks and balances collapse. Trump now faces a severe political and legal bind, with impeachment proceedings gaining bipartisan momentum and evidence described by senators as overwhelming. Legal scholars are calling it the most severe constitutional crisis since Watergate, possibly worse. the Senate is now largely paralyzed by impeachment proceedings. Legislative work has stalled, confirmations are delayed, and governance slows dramatically. Allies question whether intelligence shared with the U.S. remains secure. The presidency weakens even before a final vote. If Trump is convicted and removed, it would establish a precedent that even partisan loyalty has limits. When a president betrays the oath of office, today as of now, the Senate remains in near continuous session. Both parties are holding emergency meetings, while the White House is reportedly in crisis mode. Trump has publicly denied the allegations, attacked Republican supporters of impeachment, and framed the process as a conspiracy. But analysts note he has not directly addressed the specific evidence outlined in the articles. Polling suggests broad public support for a full trial with witnesses at 80 this moment. 18 Republican senators have joined Democrats to advance impeachment articles grounded in allegations that Trump shared classified intelligence for personal gain. A full Senate trial is now unavoidable. The nation is watching to see whether the constitutional system functions as intended when faced with overwhelming evidence of presidential wrongdoing. The stakes for the presidency and for national security have rarely been higher.